Okay, so we often get asked, can we do a DIY job on a leather sofa at home successfully? Absolutely, 100%, of course you can. That is a DIY kit. We're going to show you today how to upcycle your leather sofa to this season's fashion trend, etc, etc. So not only can you recolour it, but what we're going to do today is we're going to change the colour. This sofa originally was an aniline sofa and we pigment coated it. But what we're going to do today, we're now going to change the colour to black from this tan colour. So all of this is possible, you know, whether you're looking at recycling, upcycling, whatever you want to call it, you know, as an avid DIYer, this can be done with this complete leather care kit that you've got here. So let's have a look at the content. So first of all, in here you get a complete full set of instructions, detailed instructions, and you can go onto the YouTube channel as well, obviously, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know on the YouTube channel. If you are trying to make a specific shade of colour and you get a kit with a base colour and then several tinters in that kit to adjust, you've got a colour wheel here that comes in every single kit that's going to help you to tell you exactly how to adjust the colour to get to the shade that you need. We have got the red emery pad that we're going to use to go over the surface to help to remove some of the colour. We've got some 1200 sandpaper, we've got some 3000 polishing paper, and we've got a 280 sanding pad. And we're going to explain to you what all those are for. So obviously in the kit as well, we've got 4 application sponges. You can cut those smaller if you wanted to with a pair of scissors. So we've got 4 application sponges as well. We've got a couple of rags, which is going to use to wipe away the surface colour as we start to remove some of the surface colour on the surface. It even includes a pair of gloves, so you know you're not going to get your hands grubby or anything like that. So let's have a look at the actual products as well that we've got chemical wise, and we can sort of run through those with you as to what we've got in here. We'll just get them all out and then we'll explain them through to you so that you know what we've got. So first of all, we've obviously got the main colour, which is black. So that's a 500ml in this particular kit, which is the medium kit, which is a 500ml colour. So that's going to be the main leather paint that's going to be going on the surface here, because obviously pigmented leather is painted, which is what this is here. Obviously if it's an aniline, it's dyed through with an aniline dye. This sofa we've changed from aniline to pigmented, so we're now going to change its colour from the tan to the black. So, you know, upcycling, recycling, whatever you want to call it, it is possible with all of this. You get 3 tinters. So you get a red, white and a blue. That is going to help you to lighten and darken your black if you wanted to do that. We're just going to use it straight today, so we're not going to bother using those tinters, but they do come in the kit so that you can do that. This is the leather prep. This is an innovative, water-based, eco-friendly leather prep, and it's ultra safe for you, it's ultra safe for the environment, and it's ultra safe for your leather, and it's going to actually soften the leather as this removes some of the surface colour. We're not going to take all the surface colour off here. You just need to take a partial amount off, just enough to add like a key base, so it's keyed in so that the new colour is going to take to the surface. And the spray head is for the leather prep. So I'm going to get that put on there now, so that's on there ready. Because I just prefer to use it with a spray head. That's how we sort of use the product. It's much easier. So that's the actual leather prep. Then we've got an alcohol cleaner. That's what we're going to use at the very, very end. After we've removed some of the surface colour, we're going to clean it down and desanitize it completely with the LRC3 alcohol cleaner. That's what we're going to use to do that with one of the cloths. Then at the very end, we've got a matte and a gloss lacquer. And you can mix those two together if you wanted to get a satin to go on the surface, and that's going to seal the leather completely to get you a completely sealed surface on the leather. So let's have a look. We're going to start in a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a board and we're going to put it down the back of the actual chair so that we can get into the back of the actual item. So be very careful how you put that in. Make sure you don't get anything caught on there, but that's just going to sit there so that it allows us to get down the back here to do all the colouring down here. Then on the actual sides of the chair, I'm going to use some tape, and we're going to pull the arms over so that we can get underneath the arm. So we're just going to lift these up, and we're going to get some tape in here, and we're just going to literally tape them down to the sides so that we can actually get the colour underneath there properly without any problems down this side here, without affecting anything. So if you wanted to actually do a leather sofa and paint the arms a different colour to the seat base, that is also possible. So with any sort of DIY project that you're looking at doing, there's no end to what can be done. It's just up to your imagination. Whatever you can imagine with your DIY project, you can achieve it with the Leather Repair Company leather paints. So we're just going to keep that down like so, so it's nice and tight, and we can get all the areas prepped properly, and we can do that. Obviously for mixing your colours, you're going to need like a little bit of a jug to put the two types of lacquers in. So again, you know, we'd put those into a jug and we'd do that way. So we're not going to obviously need the lacquers until the very end anyway. So the first part that we've got to get done is we'll move some of this off here, and we're going to get some masking tape put on this side here to protect this side over here. Obviously when you're using everything, just make sure that you try to keep everything as clean as you can off the floor. Like your sponges and things, you don't want to get those onto the floor and things like that. You want to just keep them as clean as you possibly can, because you don't want to get bits in your product. But that's what the different sandpapers are for, which we will explain, you know, when we get to that sort of point in the video. We can explain, you know, the purpose of those and what they're for. So we're going to just get a bit of masking tape and run down this edge like so, and then I'm going to get some tape on there and stick that through with some masking film on it. So I'm just going to get this masked up. Obviously this masking film and the masking tape doesn't come in the DIY kit. You can get those online from various shops. It's just a very quick, handy way, but I mean, you can use plastic bags and things like that. If you've got plastic bags or old newspapers, you can use an old newspaper to do it, to mask it up, to get it on there. This is just a very quick way around doing things for masking up. It's just it's a film that sort of has a static grab to it, so it's quite a good way around doing it, and it's just quite handy. So I mean, that's got the area sort of contained, ready to do our prep work. So the next stage is we've got to obviously do the prep work, and we're going to obviously use the sanding pad for doing that. So we're just going to cut the sanding, you know, the red pad in half, so that we don't use all of it at the same time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to obviously remove some of the surface colour. So the first step that I'm actually going to do before I actually start to take some of the colour off is we're going to sand the surface with the 280 grit paper. That's going to help break the lacquer that's on the surface here, that then speeds up the process to remove some of the colour with the leather prep. So let's just give this a good sand over the surface. And that's just to remove some of the lacquer that's on the surface, so that we can then start to get the colour removed quite quickly. And just completely sand over the surface. It's quite safe doing this. You know, you're not going to create any major damage or anything like that to the item. It's just, you know, you are just reusing your leather sofa. If you've got a nice comfy sofa at home that you love and it's very comfy and it goes in your room, you know, why not give it a new lease of life? You know, recycle it and give it a new colour and freshen it up and make it look new. Because you can even, you know, obviously get new foams and things like that. It's a very simple process to do the foams inside them. Again, it's one of the videos that we're going to do is to show you how to replace the foams inside the couch, which we'll do at a later date. It's one of our next videos that we're doing. And we're just going to show you how to do a complete DIY to recycle your old leather couches so that you don't have to go out and buy a brand new one. You know, if you like the style, why not revive what you've got instead of replacing it? You know, it's an easy way around upcycling it and keeping it for a lot less money than it would be to replace it. Saving you money, giving you money to do other things, holidays and stuff like that. So we've now got that obviously sanded down on the surface. So we're just going to give it a quick wipe over just to remove any dust, because we are going to get some dust on there. Not that it really particularly matters, but you can see some of the dust coming off. And then we're going to start to take the colour off with the leather prep. It's not going to be instant, it could be. It just depends how long, you know, colour's been on there and how hard wearing it is. But what we've got to do is we're not trying to remove all of the surface colour that's on here. And you can see that, you know, we've got colour coming off there straight away. So you can see how effective the water-based leather prep is. And that is the key to what we're doing, is just, we've got to just get this surface area prepped sufficiently to give us a key to get the new colour on there. And that's all that we're doing. And you can sort of see the difference between the two halves now, between this side and this side. You can see how much of a difference it's made. You know, you can see it coming off. It's on my hand. I mean, I'm not wearing gloves, but you should be putting on the gloves if you've got, you know, anything like a skin allergy or something like that. Put on the gloves and wear them. None of the products actually affect my own skin, so I'm quite all right. So, but I would always advise putting on the gloves and wearing them, because it can be problematic getting the paint off, you know, once it gets on your hand as well. So just, you know, it just saves the hassle of having to scrub your hands to get all the paint off. But the purpose of what we're doing is to get us a key. We're not taking all the colour off or anything like that. We're just getting the base keyed in, ready to take the new black colour. That's all we're doing. And the beauty with this is, I mean, if you wanted to, with the colours, you can even spray the colours on if you wanted to. You know, if you've got a spray gun and things at home, you can spray the colours on and do it that way. It's entirely up to you. So we'll just spray a little bit more onto the surface, and then we're going to wipe some of this colour away and see how we're going. But we're certainly at the stage where we want to be. I can see that it's breaking the colour there, and I can see through the leather. And you can tell that you can see through the leather, all the colour's coming off. But what I mean by that is, you can see these darker areas on here, hopefully. That is where it's broken the colour and it's actually showing the leather itself. So that's a really good sign. That is exactly where you need to be to recycle your leather sofa, to give it a new lease of life with a new, you know, new colour. So you could either paint it the same colour or change the colour completely, and we are going to black with this particular sofa, but that's perfect for where we need to be. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, that's great. So we'll crack on with the other side, because we know we're up to where we need to be on that side, and then we can get this side done as well. And as soon as that's done, we're going to give it a little bit more of a dry over with the hairdryer, and then we're going to lightly sand it and then wipe it over again with the alcohol cleaner, just to desanitize it, ready to start applying the colour. And it really is that quick. I mean, that's how super quick it is to do this. I mean, we've only literally been a few minutes, and we've got it all prepped up. You know, we've got it all the area prepared, ready to colour. We've obviously got the colour prepared. It's all prepped as the surface. Within a few minutes, ready to start applying your new colour. So I mean, it's really super quick to do this, to change the colour of a sofa. I mean, could you imagine if you're going to recycle your unit, and yesterday you had friends round and they saw you had a tan couch, and they came in, you know, a day later, and all of a sudden you got a black one. They're going to think you've just bought a nice brand new couch, and all you've done is recycled it and put new colour on it. It literally is that quick and that simple. So just keep rubbing over the surface, applying the product, and again, I can see there that we're where we need to be, because I can see got darker patches and things, and you can see what we're using. We've used hardly any of the prep, and we've done that one full base, so you've got more than enough there to do that whole two-seater sofa, more than sufficient. So let's spray that over the surface again. We'll do both sides, and just give it a wipe over to remove any excess paint. And again, I can see there it's absolutely perfect for where we need it to be. You can see the darker patches on that side as well. Brilliant. So that's exactly where you need to be to recolour your couch. You don't need to take all the colour off. What we've got there is absolutely perfect for where we need it to be. So we're now going to obviously dry it all over with the hairdryer. Just got my extension lead plugged in. And we're ready to give it a dry. So that's dried over sufficiently. We're going to give it another little bit of a sand with the sanding paper, with the 280 grit paper, just to give it a bit more of a key in. And then we're going to wipe it down with alcohol, and then we're going to start to apply the colour. I'm just going to show you exactly how easy it is to reuse an old leather couch, or even start your own recycling business. You know, start up a recycling business and sell second-hand leather couches. You know, buy a cheap second-hand couch and recolour it and change it and sell it. So we're going to give that a quick wipe down with alcohol. So just get some on a cloth, like so, and just wipe it over the surface. All that's doing is just desanitising it, ready to put the new colour on there. I won't be touching it with my hands anymore now until we've got the black colour on there, because I don't want any grease and grime from my fingers getting into the leather where it's now open pore, basically, where we've taken some of the colour off. So that's it all wiped over with the alcohol. Quick dry again with the hairdryer. Any little bits of loose rags that you can sort of see, see if you can sort of get those picked off. Don't want to go touching them with your fingers if you can help it, but just get those picked off. That's it, all gone. So, applying the colour. This is just straight black. I am going to cut my sponge in half and do it that way. Just goes a little bit further by cutting the sponge in half, and then we're going to start to apply the new colour, and that's how quickly we're going to change the colour for you. I'm going to put a little bit of masking tape down this side first of all, just to protect here so that we're not getting any colour on there. We are going to change the whole colour of the couch, it doesn't really particularly matter, but we are just going to show you, for the purpose of the video, that particular section. And we're going to do the top of the cushion only, so that you know. So again, get your colour, give it a good shake, get some on your sponge, and just simply wipe the colour in. Doesn't matter what it looks like to begin with. The whole idea of this is to just get some colour wiped in to the couch so that it's taking that dye. And you need to make sure that it gets into all the sort of crevices and sort of joint lines first of all, and that's what we're trying to do now, just to get it into those joint lines. And that's the intention of what we're doing now, is just getting into all those joint lines. You've got to make sure you get sufficient down there to get into all those joint lines, because I mean obviously the leather would have been originally tanned obviously separate, and we're now trying to recolour it where it's all joined together. So the sort of reality of things is joins and things are obviously going to be your first wear point, so you've got to make sure you get enough paint down into those joins. So get the first coat of colour on like so. Just keep going over the surface to put that coat of paint on there. Doesn't matter how even or uneven it looks. The whole idea of this is just, this is acting as a primer base for the time being, because we're changing the colour, so this is just acting as your primer, in effect. Doesn't matter what direction you go, there is no golden rule, because we're going to even all this out in a moment. This is the beauty of DIY, you know, you can literally change the colour of something and get a brand new leather couch in no time whatsoever. You can see the colour building there now, quite nicely. Once we start to go over it the second time, and we're going to stipple the colour on when we go over it next time, you're going to see a huge difference in what we're doing. How it's going to literally transform the colour very, very quickly to make it look brand new again. So give it a quick dry. It's amazing, isn't it, how quick we've gone from this tan to that already. So let's start to actually get the colour built up now. And this is where it's going to really surprise you how quickly the colour is going to build. Just look at that transformation there already, how quickly that's building the colour. And that's just 2 coats of paint going on there. The transformation of how it's building is very, very, very quick. So just get into all those nooks and crannies to make sure you've got into them. And you can see how quickly we're building the colour now. Just stipple the colour on as you're going. And you can see there where it's really transforming that couch. So just go all the way down the back. Doesn't matter, you know, there's no set rule about what you should and shouldn't do, where you should begin and start and end, because the thing is the colours are all self-sealing and self-levelling, so they're all going to blend in and look absolutely perfect. It's a matter of stippling over the surface to colour everything. One thing you'll find with our videos is we don't cut anything out, we don't do fancy edits on them. This is a DIY video for a DIYer at home wishing to do a DIY project. So what you see is what you get, it's reality. We don't have any fancy slides in and slides out, missing bits out. We give you exactly as you're doing it, and that's why the videos are this long. So you need to know exactly how to do this, and that's exactly what we give you as reality. You know, we could spend thousands of pounds having a really nice fancy video made, but then all that's going to happen is you're going to get crucial points cut out and you're not going to know how to do those, and that's not what we want. We want your life to be very easy and very, very simple to produce, you know, a couch in black exactly as you want it. Don't worry about little areas where you've got paint on, because obviously we're painting the whole thing. If you were obviously going to change just the seat pads, then you would do a lot finer masking than what we've done. Because we're changing the colour of this thing completely to black, we're not particularly bothered about getting a little bit of colour on down here. But we just wanted to show you how you would go about doing this so that you don't end up with a problem, you know, with arms sticking together and things. So we would hold them out the way while we get the paint on, get the paint dried, and then obviously I would then say after sort of 24 hours, I would let the arm down so that you can, so that it doesn't actually stick together, because or else you're going to end up with the paint sticking together. But that is very, very quickly one coat wiped on and then one coat sponged on. So it's amazing how quick it transforms. Take a few more minutes to dry with the hairdryer. It's nearly dry, but once it's dried all the way over, we can then obviously start to put the lacquer on, which is what we're going to do next. So let's get some lacquer on here. So again, we're going to get the lacquer sponged on, we're going to stipple the lacquer on in exactly the same fashion that we put the paint on. So just very, very carefully go over and stippling the lacquer on there. If you get these bubbles, just keep tapping it and the bubbles will disappear. Because what you don't want to do is to dry them where they are, because then you're going to get like little craters. So you can just very, very gently go over the surface and they will all just disappear. Just knock them out like that. You're just going to keep going over the surface with the lacquer until you've got the desired finish that you want on the surface. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic way. If you've got this comfy couch at home or this beautiful chair that just goes in your room with the style of your house and everything, and you don't want to spend money on something brand new, just buy some leather repair company, leather paint, get one of our DIY kits and just, reuse your leather couch. It's change the colour and, if you move house and you've got a different theme that you want in the new property, this is your ideal opportunity to recycle that old favourite leather chair or leather sofa. The thing is, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to just be a leather sofa or a leather chair. It can be a couch at home or anything like that. It can be a car seat or anything. It can literally be anything you want. Just gently going over it, getting all the colour on there, and just keep on going. Just knock out all the little bubbles. We've got a little area there. I'm going to show you something in a moment, which is just a little fault that's appeared, which I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you how to actually get over that little fault. It's just being a little bit too eager with putting the lacquer on too soon. Could have let it dry for probably an hour before we put the lacquer on, but we've just gone straight on to show you how quick this is to do. So we've gone straight on with the lacquer, and ideally you'd have let it dry for about an hour really before you put the lacquer on there. But I'm going to show you this little mistake in a moment, and then I'm going to show you how we're actually going to correct that. So if you do come across this and it happens, you'll know exactly how to resolve that. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at repurposing a leather couch and changing it into something else and converting it and doing some work with it to convert it from a leather couch to something else, and you want to reuse the leather, you know, if you're going to repurpose something, this is exactly what you've got to do, you know, to repurpose it. You know, you can change the colour and give it a new lease of life, do anything you really want to it. Obviously, we're just going to put the one coat of lacquer on there, but that is how you would get the lacquer on there. So that little area that we can see here, and we've got a tiny little fault in the paint just here. This is where it wasn't quite dry and it's just peeled off. So we're just going to get a little bit more paint on the sponge and just stipple that over like so. This is all going to blend in, and that's the beauty of what we do with these products. So we're just going to give that a dry with a hairdryer. This area is obviously going to be a little bit more shiny than the rest because we've used a matte lacquer on here. And then we're going to obviously put the matte lacquer over there once this is all dry. But it's looking great. So that little bit of a mistake we had over there is all gone. So we're now just going to get a little bit more lacquer and put the lacquer over the top of that particular area to seal that in. And then give that a quick dry. So there you go. That's what happens when you don't pay for very expensive, high-end edited videos. Our camera died, the battery ran out. So just right at the finishing touches, but hey ho, that is all about DIY. That's how DIY goes. So that is the couch changed, so in colour. So it is that simple, it is that easy. Let's just sort of show you, you know, what that looks like. So obviously in an ideal world, you would be putting on there another coat of black and another couple of coats of the lacquer as well to seal that in, and that's what you'd be doing. So you can sort of see there where we've gone up to. You know, this is obviously the bits that we've not painted, but you can see there the transformation that it's done, you know, on this couch, and it's gone from that tan colour to the black. Literally as quick and as simple and as easy as that. And I mean, that is, you know, what an amazing transformation. That is how you would use a DIY kit from the leather repair company. If you can imagine doing that all over the whole couch. So not only can you keep the colour the same, you know, with your recycling of your leather sofa, you can change the colour as well to black or any other colour that you wish. So if you've got some form of special colour at home that can be on some form of designer sort of wallpaper or something particular that you want a colour of, and it's like, you know, I love the colour of my shoes and I want my handbag to match it, we can do that for you. We can get a colour that matches your shoes so you can colour your handbag. We can get a designer colour from some famous designers that produce paints for walls and things, and we can match that colour and put that colour on your couch. It's as simple as that. That is how you would be and do a DIY job on your leather sofa to recycle it, upcycle it, recycling, whatever you want to call it, repurpose it. That is exactly how you would do it with one of the leather repair company DIY kits, and that was the medium kit that we used, and that is just a leather paint. That is how pigmented leather is painted in the first place. Any questions that you have, any technical issues that you have, anything you want answering, we have a dedicated technical department to help you with all of your projects. Email the guys with pictures and ask away with questions. help@leatherrepaircompany.com. We are here to help you resolve your problem and recycle your leather furniture or interiors, jackets, shoes, handbags, no matter what it is. We're here to help you recycle it to save you going out and buying brand new when you can recycle it. If it's a beautiful, comfy item and you love it and it's that style that fits you, why throw it away? Recycle it. leatherrepaircompany.com for all your leather care kits.